So yeah, I actually just realized I'm sat down, I'm boxed in, and I don't have a pencil or an eraser or anything.
There's one eraser for the four of us. But this is my only pencil, I'm afraid.
Have a pencil.
Thank you.
Here's an eraser. You guys can share this.
Thank you.
I don't have a spare notebook for you though.
That almost sound like
I kind of do.
like a daddy thing, you know? Like, thank you, daddy.
I'm
No,
glad
I
you
need that
said that, not
notebook.
me. Can you, Charles, can you pass me this without everything falling off?
Of course I can. No, I can't.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's do the intro.
Welcome to the Tales of podcast. Tonight, we are playing Delta Green. We are playing an operation called Music from a Darkened Room. Delta Green is a modern setting for the Cthulhu mythos. It started off as a supplement to Call of Cthulhu, I want to say 6th edition, but I'm not entirely sure. It might have been 5th. It also might have been 7th. I haven't. I'm just guessing, but I'm pretty sure it was 6th. After a very successful Kickstarter, it came out as its own set of rules, and they're very nice indeed.
And now Fabio's in love.
Yes, I do. I do love it quite a bit. So there's the Agent's Handbook, which is like, it's not the equivalent of the Investigator's Handbook for Call of Cthulhu, which is really just a roundup of all of the careers and so on. It's the core rules, and then there's the Handler's Guide, which is added onto that. It's double the size of that, and that's all your lore and your background on Delta Green. And it's like, if you're into this shit like as much as I am, it's fucking awesome. I got them in a really cool slip pack with like, oh, it's just gorgeous. So yeah, I'm very hyped about this game. Anything else I can tell you about? Rules, very rules light. Compared to some other games you might come across. It's percentile, roll underneath your skill, and it's the same for everything. It goes into a little bit more detail on sanity loss than Call of Cthulhu does. We'll get to that later. But yeah, that's the game we're going to play tonight. And I'm Fabio. I'm the handler. Probably should have started out with that. But let's introduce our players, because we have our usual GM, Jan.
You can't see me, but I'm waving to everyone. Hello.
She's waving with both of her hands.
Both of my hands. I'm that excited, if you couldn't tell from the tone of my voice. I am Jan, and today I am a PC. Woohoo! And I will be playing Selina Goodwill, FBI profiler and cat lady extraordinaire.
Excellent. We will meet her later. Charles, who you got? Or hello.
Hello. Hi. Sorry, it's Halloween, and I'm really tempted to dress up. Well, it's coming up to Halloween. I'm really tempted to dress up as a sexy cat lady.
It's so weird seeing you doing an intro that is not with this French accent.
Right? In case you're wondering, this is my normal voice, although I usually give snippets of it. Hi, I'm Charles. Tonight, I will be playing Eric Perras. Actually, that's not his voice. He's just going to sound more like me. Eric Perras. He is a firefighter for the National Park Service. Yeah, I don't want to give too much away yet.
My name is Mike, and I am playing FBI Special Agent Lukas Bosheers.
Lukas Bosheers.
Bosheers.
Lukas Bosheers.
Oh, I heard Bosheers, like bodacious.
I'm kind of hoping you go with like a Creole sort of approach to this. Bosheers sounds like maybe he should speak that way.
I didn't come up with that
like
name.
Gambit from the X-Men.
I was gonna try and speak like this. Lukas Bosheers.
Oh, that'll do.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can keep that up without becoming a cowboy at some point.
So in general, another difference from Call of Cthulhu, the characters, the player characters are usually US federal agents. Not always, but usually. Those are the people who are recruited by Delta Green. And that's who we've got tonight. So we're going to start off by going into a little bit more detail on our character backgrounds and fleshing things out where we feel they need to happen. Jan.
Jan makes shifty eyes left and right into the room.
But we're going to start with... Why don't I roll a dice and pretend that it meant anything? Mike.
You're really setting us up for the rest of the evening there.
I kind of love GMs that do that, though. Just roll dice all the time, and all the players like, "Oh shit, what's going on?"
I do that all the time without even thinking about it.
I constantly roll dice in Alien particularly, and I'll have like a handful of like 15 die, and I'll just be throwing them like making meaningful eye contact with people.
Interesting.
And my players sweat bullets. Mike,
Yeah.
go for it. Let's hear a little bit about Agent Bosheers.
What was your first name again?
Lukas.
Lukas.
So, Agent Bosheers is a special agent in the Federal Bureau of Investigation. He is usually calm and collected and doesn't like to give too much away with his emotions.
Typical G-man.
Typical G-man. In fact, he was... Early in his career, he would pride himself on being very by the book. He knew the book inside and out. I stole that from Fabio's text. But he, at some point, got to know an ex-CIA agent who was hands-on in a lot of... I don't know anything about the CIA, but I know they do dodgy shit. It was hands-on in a lot of that. Called Jack Breen. And this guy taught Lukas how to think outside the box and be a bit more maverick with his approach to investigations. He was first exposed to the supernatural that he knew of when he was chasing a serial killer state to state.
What was the serial killer's name?
The serial killer's name was the Hooded Varmint.
Detecting a theme here.
I didn't even realize. It's already happening.
Yeah.
So he to a lot of the law enforcement, these murders that were happening across the US were written off as copycats and just unrelated. But with Jack Breen's help, Lukas he was convinced that they were all connected. There was something eerily similar about all of these murders, something that the kind of details that your average cop wouldn't necessarily pick up on. Maybe there was something supernatural there that was giving him bad vibes, and he thought, you know what, I got a hunch, Captain, I gotta follow my gut. So anyway, he looked into all this and eventually tracked the guy down to a compound in Alabama and led a raid with local law enforcement into this compound. And inside, there was a bunch of nasty culty stuff.
More themes.
Bloody icons and symbols all over the walls, definite evidence of human sacrifice. Some of the missing persons that were reported locally and across state borders were found in this place in various states or between dead and vegetative. And he saw something there during the arrest that he's never quite found the words to describe, but it's stuck with him and haunted him till today. And this is where Delta Green picked up on him, because despite all this, he handled it very professionally and with his signature calm.
Can you tell us a little bit about how he was recruited? How did Delta Green approach him?
I wrote down that they contacted him after this event. People whose names he didn't recognize, they contacted him out of the blue. He suspects, I reckon, that there was someone on the raid with him that knew more about what was going on. But I guess that's up to you.
That would be that would make sense. Yeah.
So yeah, they contacted him like a week or two afterwards and wanted to meet him in like a dodgy sounding private location. And he was immediately sent on an operation for them.
So he has been on a Delta Green operation before?
Yeah, I think so. I think like as a kind of a test.
Cool. Excellent. Charles, what do you got for us?
Hey, I didn't realize we were going to be telling our backstories. You got really excited when you come out with a backstory, and now I'm going to give it all away.
Well, I mean, you don't have to give everything away. You can.
Too late.
Too late. You can hold on to some nuggets if you want.
I'm a generous lover. Go on.
But surely better for everyone to hear the backstory you put so much work into.
Yeah, exactly.
Than
right.
Just never coming up.
Totally. All right, cool. So my character is Eric Paris. Or Paras. Eric Paras originally was a city boy. He grew up in Boston, Massachusetts. But even from a young age, like his parents sent him to go to Scouts, and he just fell in love with the outdoors. Absolutely just loved it. And as he got older, even though he really wanted to do something that was outdoorsy or something that really was manual labor, his parents pushed him to go to university, and he studied anthropology. So he's got a little bit of that background, but even back then he was like, any weekend he could, he was like skydiving or doing any of these kind of activities. And it's in these times when he was outdoors camping and whatnot that he met someone that would affect him profoundly and actually helped him channel some of that like adrenaline rush that he had. And he kind of got a mentor in a half Native American older gentleman, which kind of like got him to be a little more like temperate and more like about nature and peace and within oneself. And this guy was the local handyman in a smaller village in Maine. So when that happened, as soon as university was done, he packed his bags and decided he was going to become a firefighter, but not just any firefighter. He was going to be a firefighter for the National Park Service, which are probably the most insane firefighters because they're the ones that are fighting forest fires. Yeah. So for me, in my mind, he's definitely got that adrenaline, that drive, that like excite, like, oh yeah, let's go and like do crazy thing. Probably does jiu-jitsu on the weekend, you know what I'm saying? like yeah. But
his house full of mall ninja shit.
yeah, exactly. But no, yeah. But at the same time, he's got that tempered kind of side to it, which is like he's got a love for nature. He's got a love for like that spirituality. And his mentor started to impart some of like these older Native American stories, these legends. And he started to get really into it, really into it, picking out patterns that would come up from like different tribes. And so what happens? Well, one weekend when it's raining cats and dogs outside and he can't go on and do his usual thing and he's not working, he gets high and he jumps online and starts going on like message boards and starts like sharing all these like theories he's got. It turns out he gets a little too close to the truth, a little too close to what was and of course he doesn't know much about computers because he's always outdoors, so he doesn't even know what a VPN is. Lo and behold, Delta Green find out who it is and find out that this guy is the guy that goes and fights fires. So he's obviously motivated. He's also educated. He's also like a team player. Like he's used to working in a group, all the stuff. They're like, you know what? Let's give this kid a shot. So they approach him. It's like, do you want to know what really happens behind? And an opportunity to defend, you know, the natural world from the unnatural world. So I didn't mention his bonds, but his bonds are his parents. even though his parents are still back in Boston and are kind of his foot still in the city, and they never quite understood each other, there's a really strong love there. His colleagues, if you're going to go life and death with some people, you're going to form strong bonds with them. And obviously the mentor that kind of taught him a little bit of the ways that set him his ways. And that's Eric Paras.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Since you mentioned bonds there at the end, I'll just mention why they're so important. Obviously, like Call of Cthulhu, sanity loss is a factor in Delta Green. But in this game, you can use your bonds, your relationship with the people that you love and the closest people in your life who you depend on, to mitigate some of your sanity loss and to avoid, repress temporary insanity. Mechanically, this is great. Obviously, your character can keep on going, but also mechanically, it damages your character's relationships. And part of Delta Green is examining how that happens, seeing how your relationships get destroyed while your sanity is being destroyed and your whole life is being destroyed through your work for Delta Green. And the typical Delta Green agent is a torch that burns ever so brightly, but not for a very long time. Jan.
So after all that, I'm going to feel so embarrassed about my meager backstory that didn't have time to prep because I'm working on the Vison finale. So I'm playing Selina Goodwill, as I mentioned, FBI profiler. She is an expert in psychology and human behaviors, amateur animal behaviorist. She lives with 7 cats. Their names are Cruella, Archimedes, Bagheera, Scully, Mr. Tinkles, Boo Boo Kitty Fuck, and Kevin, who is a girl.
Just before Kevin, could you go back to the one just before Kevin?
That was Boo Boo Kitty Fuck.
That's one name.
Okay. Okay.
She has a nephew who...
Everyone add one unnatural point here.
She has a nephew who's a very big Jay and Silent Bob fan. So she, because I don't trust in my confidence to do a compelling or consistent American accent, Selina Goodwill's family is originally from England, but moved to the States when she was quite young, but was insistent on trying to maintain her accent. Ivy League and Oxford educated. She was scouted for the FBI because of her, she had like an excellent thesis when she did her doctorate, like caught the eye of the FBI, where she had a mentor that she worked under for many, many years, profiling serial killers. And she was recruited into Delta Green, actually not because she particularly witnessed something herself or stumbled into something herself. She was actually approached by Delta Green, obviously under the cover of another agency, where they were opening it up as like a trial to hire or find the best profilers. And she went on this trial where they asked the profilers to interview a suspect, and they had to write down like all of how they would profile them. And she was the only one who realized that this is not a human. This is some kind of unnatural. So she was like, I can't make a profile. What the hell are we looking at? So that was her exposure to the unnatural. And that's when Delta Green knew she's the one that we need, because she was the one who was an expert enough in her profiling to know that this is not a standard human being.
So Delta Green has agents, but also has friendlies. Friendlies are people who are brought into the fold. They're not ever told what Delta Green is, but they're experts whose opinions are sought and whose expertise is sought. And sometimes they become agents. Mm-hmm. And I like to think that maybe that's her trajectory.
Very likely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Awesome. Now, we're not going to ask you to just improv an entire background beyond that and bonds and so on, unless you have something already.
I do have bonds. Cool. Actually, we played a one shot of this off mic, and
exactly.
Selina Goodwill is a character that I'm carrying over from that. I think she was the only one that survived. So I'm keeping her bonds. Of course, there are her cats, all 7 of them. Her nephew, I changed it from niece to nephew.
Okay.
And her mentor at the FBI. So there's her bonds.
Speaking of the game, let's call it our off-mic test / intro game. Do you want to tell us what happened in it?
We were K-Cell. When Selina was under codename Kitty, naturally. I don't remember Charles and Mike's characters.
There was Agent Claxon and there was Agent...
what was it? Trent Cripp.
Hey there, everyone. After describing our previous off-mic game, we realized it was a massive spoiler for anyone who might actually want to go and run it. So you can listen to the rest of this discussion in the post-credits if you want to know more. Okay, back to the show.
Yeah, it was quite the catastrophe. It was excellent.
It was quite a catastrophe.
I very much enjoyed it. For anyone listening, that was we just spoiled Last Things Last for you. Okay, anything else for us to cover before I start? I'll give you an intro on this.
What is the profile makeup of Cthulhu, please? Sounds about accurate. I'm happy with that. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah.
But definitely has mummy issues.
Yeah.
Okay. Places, like people, sometimes go wrong. They turn off the path and head into the shadows, becoming something other than normal. Black places filled with blank rooms, closed doors, empty hallways lined with dust. In these places, your voice catches in your throat. The air seems to hum, and bad things happen. People get hurt. Objects vanish. Misery flows like the water from the loose faucet in the bathroom. Hate hangs in the air like old paint. Smells of time and circumstance. Something just a little beyond the world. Smells like surrender. The house at 1206 Spooner Avenue is a place gone wrong. You walk in, it's like dropping 30 fathoms underwater. Suddenly dark and cold, pressure-filled. Doors in 1206 Spooner Avenue stay shut. No one ever hears a child's laughter at night. In the hours that stretch like taffy after 2, no one ever hears music from a darkened room. Still, pretenses remain. You shut your eyes, you pretend the world is ordered, like a puzzle whose pieces are square and plain. You pretend a lot of things. You pretend you are pretending. Till in the dark, the hand falls on your shoulder.
You're not from around these parts.
Don't take kindly to your folks.
You mentioned in our last game, you guys were K-Cell, but what cell are you this time? Don't stick with K-Cell?
Cell. Cell.
We going with M-Cell then? Okay, you got an agent name in mind?
Agent Morgan.
Nice. Charles, you got an M agent?
Michael.
Michael. Yeah?
Mitty.
I'm only thinking of stupid stuff like Methuselah.
I mean, if you want.
No, I can't introduce myself as Methuselah to people.
Mother.
Agent
Marianne.
Mother.
Matilda.
Madeline.
Madeline or Madeleine?
Madeline.
It's my French side coming out again. Tasty Madeleines.
You have each been summoned, called, through various means. Perhaps you received a phone call late at night. Perhaps an envelope without a stamp on it was dropped in your mailbox. Whichever way the group reached out to you, it was through a means which they had pre-approved with you. Maybe it included code words that they had informed you of. Whatever way it happened, the crux of the matter was you were called to a meeting in New York City. The year is 2017. It is late February. Your meeting is at 7 a.m. at a diner that is empty apart from the line cook who's in back and one waitress who, since she served you some coffees, hasn't returned. It's been 15-20 minutes at this point. Yes.
Is this our first time on a Delta Green mission?
It's not Agent Morgan's first time, and it's not Agent Madeline's first time. Is it Agent Michael's first time?
I guess it is.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
You are probably quite confused about what's going on.
Yeah, but also a little excited.
The swing door to the back of the diner opens, and a man in a disheveled suit steps through. You look through the window to the kitchen, and food is sizzling on the stovetops, but there's no sign of the line cook anymore. Your waitress similarly has disappeared. The man in the suit, he's probably in his 50s. He's balding. He's got dark lines underneath his eyes. He looks twitchy, really. I mean, he looks like he hasn't slept in a long time, and maybe he's been popping pills to keep him going. He sits in your boot. Who was sitting beside each other? Where's the space?
I'm on the end.
I'm next to the entrance.
Okay. He slides in beside Agent Morgan, and he puts his hands on the table. He takes them away briefly, and you can see sweat marks. Clearly, his hands are very clammy. He introduces himself. I'm Agent Mason.
Oh, can I hear him from where I am?
Yeah, I assume you come over to the booth.
Okay.
This is your briefing. You should listen to this.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if everybody's in a different booth.
No. You can all come together.
All right,
all
excellent.
come together.
Hi.
You can get acquainted with one another later on. Let me get through this. I want to get out of here. I haven't slept for a long time.
Sorry, sir.
I'm Agent Mason. I've brought you here to brief you on Operation Iago. You are to travel to the town of Meadowbrook in New Jersey. There you are to determine the cause of death of FBI Special Agent Arthur Donnelly. He was a veteran agent of our group, has been active for a number of years, dropped off our radar recently, apart from a couple of attempts to contact the group, and recently went to meet a maker. We'd like you to focus your attention on the house at 1206 Spooner Avenue in Meadowbrook and determine whether that represents an ongoing threat to the public. Once these two protocols have been completed, I want you to contact me using this burner phone. And he puts a battered Nokia phone on the table and he slides it to Agent Madeline.
Well, at least we have a weapon now, fellas.
The 3310.
Agent Mason explains. Agent Arthur Donnelly killed himself in the house on Spooner Avenue. He went there 2 weeks ago without informing his handler or without using proper protocols. Nobody knows why. Donnelly's ex-wife called the Trenton FBI office where Donnelly was stationed and reported him missing. 2 agents from Trenton office checked his apartment the next day. They found that he'd left his cell phone behind Day after that, they worked with Donnelly's cell phone provider to track his phone's recent movements. And they found a number of unexplained visits to 1206 Spooner Avenue. The next day, the agents checked Spooner Avenue house. They found Donnelly's body in the master bedroom. His throat had been cut cleanly, as if with a straight razor. His blood had drenched the walls. One of the Trenton agents, he said it looked like someone had set off a bomb full of blood. The agents notified Meadowbrook police, who called in the county coroner. The coroner half-heartedly ruled the death a suicide. No suicide weapon was found. Significantly, though, Donnelly's death matches closely the death of the most recent owner of 1206 Spooner Avenue. One Yamila Izari. Her body was found in precisely the same circumstances 16 months ago.
And in the same location in the house?
Exactly the same location.
You're shitting me. We're dealing with House on Haunted Hill?
That is what my tabletop audio's says, yes.
God damn. I thought that was just an urban legend. That was in character, by the way.
Of course it was.
Yeah.
Donnelly had had gotten a reputation among his colleagues in the FBI of suffering from depression, mood swings. He had become obsessive, was often overwhelmed by stress. These are facts that were backed up by an interview with his wife. It seems he had become preoccupied with the house on Spooner Avenue. This has been corroborated by his movements, as I explained already, of his mobile phone, but also web searches on his internet browser. The house does seem to have had a strange history. I have not been briefed on what the details of that are, but I have been told that Donnelly did try contacting the group and pushing this up the chain of command, but resources were not available to respond to his request. It looks like something happened. He had an overwhelming emotional response and killed himself. The tragedy was reported in local newspapers, the Meadowbrook Sparrow for one. It was reported as another Spooner suicide. Again, I haven't been briefed on the history of the house. You're going to have to look into this yourself. Things have started to calm down. It was 2 weeks ago that this happened. The FBI has kind of wanted to push this under the rug. The last thing they need is news stories about one of their agents going off the deep end and killing himself. Neighbors also would rather this story not go anywhere because it damages further their property prices, having a so-called haunted house on the street. What I can offer you are some assets. There are 2 friendlies of our group who live in or around Meadowbrook and would be available to provide their expert services to you. Obviously, give them only the information they need to know. They are not aware of the true nature of our group, and they should remain in that ignorant state. They are Elizabeth Tucker. Elizabeth Tucker is an antiques dealer. She lives in Meadowbrook. And Emil Yarrow. Yarrow's a parapsychologist, an associate professor of abnormal psychology at Fulton College. I also have information on a potential green box, which is in the Meadowbrook Storage at 819 Dewlark Lane, Unit 2230. I don't have a key or a serial number for this, so gaining access is up to you. You may want to inform the police about your investigation, or you may want to keep it secret. 2 of you have law enforcement backgrounds that may allow you to falsify an official investigation into Donnelly's death. Play it however you think it's going to play it best. The group will do whatever we can to help you with that, but resources are limited, as always. I'd ask you if there was any questions, but I don't really have any more information for you, so let's see.
Yes, I do have some questions. After the death of the former owner, Yamila Izari, who did the ownership of the house fall onto? Do you know?
I don't have that information. That's something you can probably find out at the county seat.
And where is the body of Donnelly?
Donnelly's body has been buried at this point. It was 2 weeks ago.
Back with his family.
Yes. Now, if that's all, like I said, I'd like to get some sleep. Although, chance to be a fine thing. He slaps the table, he stands up, and he walks out the front door. And the instant he walks out the front door, your waitress reappears, coming out of the kitchen. She's got pancakes for everyone. She lays them down in front of you. She leaves.
What about my steak? I think it's overdone now.
It was a steak you ordered? Sorry, dear. I'll get onto that.
It's all good.
I was waiting on some tea.
We don't do tea. Coffee? You want some coffee?
I suppose.
Dirt water, finest American.
Cup of Joe.
So, Agent Morgan, was it?
That's right.
And Michaels.
Wait, did we introduce ourselves?
I think Mason did.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Mason used your name.
That's right. It's a real pleasure to meet y'all.
Yes. Gives like a very slow nod.
We'll see if you think that afterwards. Now drink up, kid.
Got it.
Let's see if you make it out the other side.
I'm guessing it's not your first time on a mission?
Starts having flashbacks to the last mission. No, unfortunately not.
Oh, right.
Do
What might that flashback have consisted of?
flashes of fire, burning, screams, head explosion.
And a noisy neighbor.
I'm pretty sure that she tried shanking the skinwalker lady.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
There was a lot of violence. There was a lot of blood. Crying, screaming, flames. So how are you guys going to approach this?
One question that I failed to ask. Where are we currently now?
You're in New York. You are in Brooklyn. I don't know
Okay.
exactly where.
That I didn't mention that. That's actually where Selina lives. So Selina's on home turf. And where is... We have to go to New Jersey.
Yes. Meadowbrook in New Jersey.
I know nothing about American geography.
It's not too far.
No. You can drive there in an hour, 2 hours.
Something like that.
Anybody got a car?
Is there a skill for driving? There is. Selina doesn't have anything in drive.
Yeah. I've got a pickup truck.
I was going to say, can we take the fire truck?
No, I don't. I did not take my fire truck. But also, you don't know I have.
I don't know that you're a fireman. Yeah, fair.
Although I do have my fireman gear in my pickup truck. No, I've got a pickup truck. It can easily fit 3 people on top.
What kind of pickup truck is it? Like, is it with 2 rows of seats, or is everyone sitting on a bench in the front?
It's got 2 rows of seat, but the back row is quite tight because it's got a huge trunk that's covered up, and there's a bunch of climbing gear, and there might even be there's also some like extra fireman gear that I might have. There's definitely a few Native American tomahawks in there. That's a little. Like they look ornamental, but they also look like someone's been having fun throwing them against a tree.
I think I'd probably have a car as well, right? It'd be like an unmarked
I'm sure you do.
cop car kind of thing.
Yeah.
I got some
Lincoln
shit in the
Continental
back.
or something.
They'll take your word for it.
Seems like an FBI car. Does Agent Madeline have a car?
She has a vintage Volkswagen Beetle.
Of course she does. Perfect.
So, any ideas on how you're going to approach this investigation? What's your cover story going to be?
Wait, let me jump back. That's a super rare car in the US. Yeah, that's like a little boutique. Like she had to like go and find that car. Kudos to her.
She's got fine taste.
Yeah, there you go.
Real subtle.
Well, we're clearly not taking my car.
No.
So, fellas, it seems like we have several leads that we maybe should hit up before we head to the house itself. I would like to get some more background information on both this Donnelly and Izari.
You guys, I think Mason said are law enforcement. So you guys probably know more about this, but shouldn't we get like an autopsy or something?
Well, I suppose there may be a report from the ME.
If the autopsy was fake, we might find the real one in the bureau.
You think it was faked?
They
Never know.
They found no suicide weapon.
Yeah, it's true. I didn't think about that.
Very
Suicide's
true.
a awful convenient excuse.
Oh.
I'm already going cowboy.
Don't pull back from it. Just lean in.
Yeah.
Go with it. How should we approach our cover story? Agent Morgan, as fellow law enforcement, perhaps we don't have to go into too deep cover here.
I could check the records from my car. I got a laptop.
I find that usually when you're trying to do good, people do good by you.
The fuck are you talking about?
Fucking deep but irrelevant.
I just mean that why go in crazy? We can just come in and say that we're investigating the murder. People will usually respond to that.
Suicide.
Suicide.
For now.
Well, who do you want to talk to about it?
Well, surely the neighbors.
You could try.
Oh, sure. Not the most approachable person, but I think I could do a little something.
We don't have the capacity to get fake IDs because he didn't give us any, right?
He did not.
What is our capacity for getting fake IDs?
Well, two of you are in the FBI.
Yes, but if we give them, surely your FBI badge has your real name on it.
It does, yeah.
I got a contact in the FBI. How does inciting the help of bonds work?
So, who's your bond in the FBI?
He's an intelligence correspondent that I work with a lot.
Right, okay. So one thing you might want to do, one thing you could do is suggest to your supervisor that you would like to investigate the death of this FBI agent. No one's been investigating it. If you look on the FBI network, you find that there's very few details about the death of Agent Donnelly. Mm-hmm. As I said, the Trenton office tried to brush this under the rug. But you know that for local police, it would seem completely normal for an FBI team to come and investigate this. Of course, if you do that, you're using your real names, maybe not a problem. Potentially a problem, you will have to provide a report at the end of your operation to the FBI. So into this comes something that we didn't really get to explore beyond burning everything in the previous game that we played, which is the cover-up, which in Delta Green often takes up about 10% of the game at the end. Is after you have defeated whatever the threat is, you have to figure out how the fuck to hide it from everyone. So you need to start thinking about that now. I would tell you that to convince one of your supervisors to send you here under official circumstances would require a bureaucracy roll.
Okay, I can do that. I'm good at bureaucracy.
Cool. But first tell me what you tell the supervisor, because maybe I'll give you some modifications based on how good your story is.
So I get back to my car and flip open the old laptop. I contact, what's this dude's name? Jim Hutchins.
You're emailing Jim or you're calling him?
I'm calling him.
Hutchins here.
Captain, Captain,
Who is this?
do we have to go through this every time? Is Bosheers?
Bosheers. Yeah. Mr. Bosheers. Yeah.
Again.
No, I'm on the phone to Bosheers. Bring it back. Oh, hang on. Bosheers, you're going to have to hang on a second. Yeah.
Christ.
2 shares. Okay. And give me those cookies. You know the ones that I really like? Thank you. Bosheers, what is it? I do for you.
Look, I found a new lead for that murder case I was looking into. I'm wondering if you can get me in with the local police forces, send me there on official business. It always makes things easier, you see.
Which local force? Where are you talking about? Give me some fucking details.
Look, this is where
I'm not a fucking mind reader.
Jesus Christ, okay.
So aggro.
Get off my back.
Damn it, Bosheers, you're off the case. Now tell me, which case was it?
Now, I've been looking into the possible linked murders of Brian Badger and Carol Carterman. Down in
the alliteration killer, yeah.
Yeah, you know the guy. Down in New Jersey. It's been another death.
Yeah.
Heard a little about it from contacts in the bureau already. Someone already investigated. They wrote it off as a suicide. I think there's something worth looking into.
All right, Bosheers, you've never been wrong before, so I'll let you away this time. What do you need from me?
I happen to know they're trying to cover this up, or I have an inkling they're trying to cover this up, so perhaps a false identity would help.
The fuck do you think we are? The CIA? This is the FBI. You use your real name, lawman.
Come on, you're busting my balls here. Help me out. You said it yourself. I'm never wrong.
Give me a bureaucracy roll. But you're not getting a fake ID because he's an FBI director.
Well, 59. I got success.
Excellent, yeah. You've managed to convince him to give you orders to go to Meadowbrook and investigate potential connection between the suicide of Agent Donnelly and the deaths of...
The alliteration killer.
Larry Badger and Carol Carterman.
Because you tend to track serial killers, right? So this is not unusual for you.
Question. Are we considering the alliteration killer an actual active killer right now?
Oh, he's very
It
serious.
seems active, yeah.
Because very likely that Selina would have a profile on him.
Oh, yeah. Possibly.
What's your name again? Selina Sears.
You going down there?
It's Agent Madeline to you. Selina Goodwill. It's Agent Madeline.
You heading down there on your own, Bosheers?
Listing the help of a couple of civvies knowledgeable in the area. Family, friends alike.
She's FBI.
He doesn't know that.
Just what do you want me to say, actually?
Well, yeah, because then I also need permission to go on the kiss.
You familiar with an agent? What's your name?
Well, my actual name is Selina Goodwill.
Yeah, but I gotta have a name. I gotta tell my captain.
Well, we're going in official capacity, so I would give him my real name.
Yeah.
Goodwill. It's Selina Goodwill.
Agent Goodwill.
Good. On a second. Dunk the cookies for me. For this shit. Goodwill. Good. Oh yeah, profile. I saw she did some good work.
Yeah, real hot shit.
She she profiled that last serial killer you were tracking. What was his name?
The Crimson Caramel.
Not the Ellipsis Strangler.
Nah, that was a couple years back.
The Licorice String Strangler.
All right. Well, you'll have the orders in a few hours. I'll send them on up to the Trenton office and ask them to give you whatever assistance you need.
Perfect. Enjoy your fucking donuts.
It's a fucking cookie, Bosheers. Fuck you.
He hangs up. I don't know what your relationship prior to this has been with this guy, but it was antagonistic.
No,
You set the fucking tone.
No. The other thing I liked is if you're worried about your accent going Western, don't worry, it hasn't. It's gone full Eastern, but you're going higher up. It's kind of like Chicago, New Jersey now. Stick with it. Yeah.
I travel a lot. It changes.
I'm just imagining that cartoony one is saying, "Say what you got, say."
Couple of wise guys, eh?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Jimmy.
A wise guy, yeah?
So you have an official FBI investigation that you can follow. You've got some guy from the National Park Service. They don't know where you're from, though.
No.
So you're just gonna...
So you guys are FBI?
Well, what made you think that?
Well, I figured since I sat here, once you guys just had that conversation, it was a bit of a dead giveaway. Wow, this is some serious stuff, huh?
Well, what do you do? What's your story?
Firefighter for the NPS. Yeah.
That might be useful.
You need me to save you from a fire? I'm your man. You need me to carry somebody out? I'm your man. You need me to clear something out? I'm your man.
Well, on my last mission, we were pulled together because we were the ones closest. Let's hope that wasn't the reason for pulling us together this time.
Oh. No, I came all the way down from Maine. Wasn't that far, but I don't
Then
think I'm
potentially
closer.
they'd have put us together for a reason, fellas.
So should we get on with it? Or?
Let's do it.
Yes,
You're gonna drive to New Jersey, to Meadowbrook.
Do you guys want to jump in my car, or we splitting up?
I got equipment in here. I'll drive myself.
All
You're
right.
welcome to have a ride if you want.
what kind of cars do you have again?
It's a black car.
A black car-shaped vehicle.
I said truck, but it's not so much truck as it is a 4x4 with like a big heavy back, kind of filled with like camping equipment and whatnot. I'm sure I can make some space in the back for whatever your stuff needs. It's good. It's safe.
I would say that you perhaps have a little bit more legroom, so...
Oh yeah, I know for sure. For sure. I mean, when you're driving 6, 8, 12 hours to get to your favorite base jumping spot, like you need a comfortable car.
So where are you all heading first?
Oh yeah. What are
And
we?
are you all heading to the same place?
Well, yeah, that was going to be my question. Like, the contacts that we were given, are they also based in Meadowbrook?
They were all
In or around Meadowbrook, yes.
I'm not
you
sure.
mean the two friendlies?
Yeah, the two
Yeah.
friendlies. I'm not sure what help they are right now. I'm sure as we get to know more, we'll want to approach them. But right now, I'm not sure that they're going to be able to tell us anything when we don't know that much either.
Then I would suggest perhaps it would behoove us to head to the Meadowbrook paper. It was the Meadowbrook Sparrow.
Ooh, that sounds good. And behoove. I like your vocabulary there, Missy.
She puts up her glasses in that very anime.
Yeah.
You know, the parapsych might be a good port of call. There's been several deaths in this place. Chances are he's done a bit of research.
Oh,
Knows a thing or two. Might even have records.
Oh, but I heard like psychiatrist, behavioral
No,
psychiatrist.
parapsychologist.
Oh, okay.
What's
Yeah,
that? What's a
so-
parapsychologist?
Like a
Someone who investigates the paranormal.
What, like one of those like TV?
Yeah,
Call
like a
up.
ghost hunter.
God damn, man, we are pulling all the stops on this thing.
Yes, gentlemen, I would suggest our first port of call should be the newspaper. What do we think?
Do we want to get the newspaper involved straight away? They got a bit of a habit of getting their noses dirty when we don't want them.
Now, just before you go to the newspaper, think about what your search parameters would be at this point.
Actually, then, more the point would be maybe going to the library to look at archives.
Ooh.
That had been my thought.
Good idea.
The body, the autopsy, right?
Yes, I'm assuming that the autopsy was probably done at the local ME's office.
The county coroner took care of it. He was the one who declared it a suicide.
Yeah, he's worth talking to.
Definitely want to be having some words with him.
Are we gonna split up? Or?
The other lead that you asked me about finding out about ownership of the house, and you would find the records on that at the county seat.
You saying seat?
Seat, yes.
I think that we should split up once we get there. I would personally like to go to look at the newspaper archives.
And should we declare ourselves to the local authorities since we've got official backing now?
I'd say let's give them time. Let's poke around a little bit first. If they get their noses in our business, then we can flash our badges.
Let me get your deputy's badge while you're working with me.
Is it like a plastic sheriff's badge?
I do work for the NPS. It is an official government branch.
What is the NPS?
The National Park Service.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We do great work, ma'am. I mean, you guys chase after what goes bump in the night, but I assure you that there's plenty of danger out there that goes bump in the middle of the day. You ever wrestled with a bear?
Have you?
No, but I heard it's bad.
I've heard that potentially wrestling with my Tigger could be quite the equivalent of.
You have a
wrestling with
tiger?
He's almost a tiger. Yes.
It's your stuff in the
So,
FBI.
do you want to drop into the?
Yes. Let's drive.
I imagine you would drop by the Trenton FBI office as a courtesy call, since you'll be running the operation out of there.
I said since I've got permission to. What do you think? Because you maybe know a little bit more. Since we've got permission to investigate this suicide, do you think they would be willing to just hand over? They're clearly trying to hide it.
Yeah,
so
exactly. Because this is going to
they-
be my question. If we present ourselves to the local FBI that they've potentially tried to cover up, that they're probably not going to be particularly friendly to us.
Right, that's what I'm thinking. But maybe Fabio.
You asking the
Worth a
GM
shot.
to?
Yeah. No, I'm not asking him to give anything away. Just like because I'm not. I don't. You're more familiar with the agencies and how the system works and stuff. Just
Yeah, I mean, your
my
FBI
character think this is a
Going to talk to
reasonable course.
FBI,
of
you're all colleagues.
yeah.
Would is there like a level of ranking between like local FBI agents and people from like Quantico and other major parts of the organization? Like, can we pull rank?
On the local FBI office, no, not really.
Okay.
You can pull rank on the local police,
Right.
but you're all agents. I mean, these guys wouldn't always be in this field office. They are also from Quantico.
Okay.
They're just working here for a few years or whatever.
Okay.
So yeah, what do you find out at the Trenton office? Well, first of all, you are introduced to one of the agents who formerly worked with Agent Donnelly, one Agent Schmonelly.
Can you repeat that, please?
No, it is Agent Cunningham. Agent Cunningham worked with Donnelly in the past. He doesn't have a whole lot of information, so I'm just going to give it to you briefly. He hasn't worked with him closely for a couple of years. The last couple of years, last 18 months maybe, Donnelly became withdrawn. His work on other cases kind of started to drift in terms of quality and commitment. He seemed distracted by something else. Yeah, but apart from that, he was a good man. He was a dedicated agent up until that point. He believed in the mission. Yeah, that's about all he's got to say about it. It was pretty sad. His wife was a nice woman. She was pretty broken up, but reading between the lines, she had obviously kind of made her peace with losing her husband some time ago because he had become completely withdrawn from their relationship. She wasn't entirely surprised by what happened, perhaps, as she watched her husband decline. Apart from telling you about Donnelly, he fills you in on the details. Police Chief Michael Buffington is the head of police in Meadowbrook. He's a 42-year-old man who's been in office for 1 year in Meadowbrook. He's pretty no-nonsense, by-the-book kind of guy.
Did you say Buffington?
Yeah. He is known to be pretty cut and dry, no grey areas. He is he's a lawman, but someone you can count on. any interactions we've had with him so far have been pretty pleasant and helpful.
Yeah, what other questions do we want to ask? Do you know, you used to work with Donnelly,
That's right.
you know, when he got interested in this Spooner Avenue place. Heard a few things about it, but seems awful convenient.
Yeah, it looks like this came up on his radar about 18 months ago. When I checked his internet activity, he had been looking into the owners of the house. One Yamila Isari, who we know committed suicide. I don't know if you heard, but the particulars of her suicide and Donnelly's suicide scarily similar. I don't know what was going on there. Maybe he became obsessed with this woman and copied her demise. I don't know. It was pretty fucking weird. I don't understand it.
Cunningham, you say suicide. However, from what we understand, there was no implement for committing suicide found with Donnelly.
Yeah, that's right. The county coroner, Elmer Perkin, county coroner, signed it off as a suicide. I got the impression he wasn't too happy about that, because there was no weapon found. These things happen. Maybe kids got into the house, found it and made off with it. Some kook was watching the house. I don't know. People steal things disappear, things get misplaced. Maybe one of the local cops fucked up.
But you don't think it's a case potentially where he'd been coerced to rule it as a suicide, or?
You mean the coroner?
Yes.
I'd be really surprised at that. Like I said, Buffington would have been leading the investigation, and he doesn't fuck around, that guy.
I see. And do you know if also an instrument was found in the supposed suicide of Yamila Isari?
That I do not know. You'd need to look into that. I guess the coroner might know about that too. Maybe the local newspapers.
Understood.
I don't have a file on it, I'm afraid.
I'm not there, but it'd be really great if somebody asked if there was any weird event that preceded the 18 months before his death. Like, is something weird that happened? Just say.
At this point, Agent Michaels walks in.
Oh, hi there.
We ran out of jelly beans in the car.
Yes. I was thinking about making a run for the local store. Hi, Michael here.
What's going on with you, kid? Look at my eyes. You hopped up, kid? You high?
Oh, never off
Looking
the
for jelly
job.
beans, is it?
Never for the job, sir. No, I take that stuff way too seriously.
How you doing?
Not bad. I wanted to know if there was any weird event that preceded the 18 months of Agent Donnelly's downfall.
What do you mean by weird?
By anything unusual that set him off in this path.
Unusual?
Good heavens, I don't know. Did something traumatic happen to him?
Son, we're in the FBI. We don't do unusual. We're gray.
Madeline shoots a look at
By the
Mason.
Toe the line. And, I guess he started acting a little bit strange. But like I said, I don't really know what that was about. He seems to have maybe become obsessed with this Yamila Isari. Why? I don't know.
Thank you.
Potentially a question for the wife.
By the sounds of it, she was feeling the estrangement already, but yeah, definitely.
It looked like their relationship had broken down somewhat. Not officially, but certainly speaking to his wife, she didn't seem to know much about his recent life.
Did they split up before the past 18 months?
No. He was still maintaining a home. He was still domiciled with his legal partner.
Domiciled and domesticated.
Can I do some kind of profiler scan of Cunningham and see if he's being legit with us?
There's no need. He is
Okay,
completely down the line, yeah.
fair. Because I got the impression that the local FBI were covering it up, like the details of the case. So.
There was no. I mean, this guy's just an agent, so he
okay.
wouldn't have decided whether an investigation happens or not.
Okay.
Cunningham, who was in charge of this investigation? Was the FBI involved from the start?
We were not brought in as anything but consult with the local PD. The coroner declared it a suicide. I think it was. Maybe there was something else worth looking at, but someone up the chain didn't want it looked at, I guess. I mean, like, FBI agents aren't supposed to go off the deep end. It's could be a big embarrassment for the agency. You know, we're supposed to be the people you can depend on.
Sure. Now, Cunningham, I think we'll pay a visit to this coroner of yours. You stay peachy, we might come back later.
Gives you finger guns. It's a typical FBI greeting.
Ta-town. Cunningham, just one last question. Are you aware of Donnelly having any personal connections with members in the town?
Donnelly had been living in Meadowbrook for some years, so I imagine he had some connections.
But you're not aware of any?
None in particular, no, none beyond whatever social connections he might have had. Nothing's coming to mind that would be significant.
Okay, thank you. All right, let's get you some jelly beans.
Right on. Maybe some spicy Doritos or cool Doritos.
There's a Jelly Belly Bean outlet down the street.
I was imagining there was going to be like one of those coin-operated gashapon machines that's just going to like make loose jelly beans.
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
I think we should pay a visit to the coroner.
You want to do that first? Do we want to do that first?
Well,
or,
we could split up and search for clues, as they say.
So what do you want to find out?
I have a suspicion, I think we all have a suspicion, that the coroner was coerced. I want to just have a conversation with him and see if I can maybe have him slip anything up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would think the coroner knows if you're pulling a knife this way or if you're pulling a knife across. Yeah, if you're pulling a knife on yourself, it's probably going to be a different dent than if someone's pulling it on your... I don't know. I'm not an expert on this stuff.
But how would you rule it a suicide?
I'm guessing by the indent, the angle, right? Yeah.
And someone should go talk to the cops as well. Well, maybe it's best for the profiler to go talk to the coroner if we think he's lying.
All right.
And then I can go talk to the police chief and see who was in charge of the investigation and what was happening, what went on.
Sure.
And then...
I'll drive.
So you're just going to be our chauffeur?
A little bit.
Well, you're a people person. Why don't you go talk to the newspaper?
I study people, you know, and I try to give back to community.
There's Elizabeth Tucker, the antiques collector. She's one of the friendlies. Well, she's one of the friendlies.
No, I know. I think with the friendlies, it's best for us to approach them when we have a question for them.
Fair.
What about a parapsychologist? We can find some stuff out about the house. There's got to be lots of local information on it.
I'd rather go ask the neighbors.
Go ask the neighbors. That's a perfectly good. Let's do that.
Canvass the neighbors is the number one rule of an investigation.
Indeed, right? That and the wife or the husband, right? Because it's
Wife did
usually...
it. Called it. Wife did it.
Nailed it.
Okay, which one will we do first?
Can I just point out really quickly, what's the lady's name who killed herself?
Yamila Isari.
Is it a coincidence that we brought up the alliteration killer earlier?
Yeah.
Wait, how are you spelling Yamila Izari?
With two Y's?
No, it's a Y and an I.
You were hearing it as Yuzari.
I don't know. Izari could have a Y at the start.
Okay.
Probably.
Right.
I can't say it's a name I see a lot.
Since me and Mike were mostly in that scene, why don't we start with Charles?
We're going to the neighbors. All right. Rock and roll.
Alrighty then. 1206 Spooner Avenue is on a cul-de-sac. It's the last house as you turn around. It's
Is there a bunch of houses facing the cul-de-sac? Or are they quite well spaced?
they have quite a bit of space between them, but it's a normal suburban sort of setup you might expect to see.
What's the lawn look like?
Middle class suburban neighborhood.
Is it like what are they called? Elizabethan house? Elizabethan house? Is that what they're called? You know, like the classic from like Psycho with all the weird
Oh
parts?
yeah, no, it's not that. That would be Gothic Revival.
Okay, sure.
I looked up a lot of architecture stuff for this.
There you go. Yeah, it's funny. Those things were super popular, and now they're like, no. So what does this house look like?
So, if you come to Spooner Avenue, 1206, as I said, is at the end of the street. It's a one-story kind of a Gothic Revival.
Oh, it is.
House. You can see. I mean, it looks like it's reasonably recently enough been renovated. It's got a large lawn. It's overgrown at the moment.
Okay.
And a driveway. The houses on either side of it, there's another 4 houses in this cul-de-sac. They're all of varying designs. None of them are matching exactly. Some are 2 stories. 1206 is 1 story.
But just, if we're imagining the cul-de-sac, where on the curve is... Of course, it's the one at the tip of the... And then there's 2 on either side? Is it equally spread like that?
All right. Oh, I'll get some comments in. This is some real Amityville horror thing going on here. All right, cool. Yeah, the lawn seems overgrown right now. What about the other houses? Are they modern?
I wouldn't say that they're modern, but they're looked after.
Right. But are they also in the Gothic Revival?
No, they're various. Like, these were clearly different lots that people purchased and built their own houses on.
Yeah, fair dues. I mean, rock and roll. Let's do the rounds real quick.
Pick a house.
First door on the left, please.
Right beside 1206 or
Right
at the start of the...
Yeah, first door on the left. Yeah, right besides.
Yeah, you knock on the door. No answer for a moment. Maybe you give another knock and you hear...
I'm going to hit all 4 houses, by the way. So.
Yeah. Right. You hear a voice coming from down the hallway. Just a minute. Oh, God. And you can hear like a tap of a walking stick coming down the hallway. And a very old man opens the door. He says, "Yes, can I help you?"
It's late morning, right?
By this stage, it's probably late morning, yeah.
Or early afternoon.
Yeah.
Good morning, sir. I hate to be bothering you like this. I'm actually...
I have nothing else to do.
Oh, well, good.
I'm an old man.
Well, if there's any way I can help you, you let me know now. But I'm hoping you can help me. I'm part of a special task investigation to look into your house next door, 1206. And we're just trying to get a little understanding, lay of the land of what people know, what people think. Anything can help me really just get a little insight as to what's been going on.
And you are with the police, is it?
Oh, indeed, but I'm not police. Sorry, I'm just a helper, an assistant, if you will.
The assistant of the police?
You can think of me as a deputy, but no, not of the police per se. I don't know if I should say this, but I'm actually working for the FBI as a consultant. Yeah, it's a pretty big deal, to be honest.
Federal BI. Do you have any identification, Sonny?
Oh well, all I've got is my badge. Technically, I'm a firefighter. and I'd be happy to show you this for the NPS. I've got my badge with me, but like I said, I'm only working as an informant.
Very confusing.
Bye.
I'm not quite certain I fully comprehend your cover story, Sonny.
Not a common story, sir.
Why don't you give me a persuade roll?
Oh, great, because I'm not good at persuading.
It's not necessary to know exactly what to do. If you know exactly what to do or you have a good idea, well then either you'll get an automatic pass or a good modifier. But if you don't know what to do and you don't come up with a good story, then I'll get you to roll.
I said the truth.
It was kind of all over the place.
That's fair.
The truth is pretty sus.
Yeah, the truth is pretty sus. Oh my god, the dice.
What is your persuade, by the way?
20.
This guy is old and infirm. I'll give you a plus 10.
It's. I thought that was a 10. It was a 70. It's a 71 out of 30. That's no good.
Well, I tell you, I'd be very happy to help in any way, but I'm sure you understand. I can't just talk to anyone. I'm gonna need to see some kind of identification.
Yes, clearly. Hold on here. I'm gonna pull out my NPS badge.
Give me a look roll.
Yeah. Where's my look?
It's just 50-50, so 50 and down you pass.
Oops. I pass.
He starts checking his pockets and he goes, all right, goddamn glasses. And he makes the thing like, yeah, well, this all looks in order, obviously. Come on in. I was just making coffee.
It's very kind of you. Cool. I really hate to take any. Did you say tea?
I can make tea if you're that way inclined.
What do you got?
Look like such a butch guy. I thought coffee would.
Coffee it is. Listen, it's a bad form of me to ever turn down a drink when it's offered. But like I said, I'm really just a consultant, and I'm just trying to grab as much information as I can.
I understand, but I'm 90 years old. I can't stand here all day. Come in here and just sit down with me.
Cheers, thank you.
So, 1206 Spooner Avenue. You're investigating, huh? Well, what are you looking into?
Well, we heard there's been a string of suicides, and we're just wondering.
String is one way to describe it, yeah.
Oh.
Suicides and murders. Dead house, we call it around here.
Dead house.
The dead house, yeah. It sounds dramatic, but I've lived here for 70 years and I've seen a lot of things go in and outside of a dead house. The dead house seems pretty appropriate to me, to be honest with you.
I mean,
I don't go saying that to anyone else on that street. They're all so concerned about their property prices and their resale value, they won't tell you shit.
Oh, damn.
Bunch of fucking ingrates. Don't get me started on those fuckers.
What's the name of the associations that get together? Homeowners, like the Street Homeowners Association giving you grief, sir.
Yeah. What color would you say my front door was?
Green?
Yeah, exactly. They said it was turquoise.
Oh my god. Is turquoise even a real color?
I don't know what the fuck turquoise is.
You don't see turquoise in nature, do you?
This is green.
It's green. I'm
Anyway.
with you there, sir.
The dead house. What can I tell you about it?
Well, I mean, all we know is there was an Agent Dunley recently, and then before that, it was Yamila Asari.
Yeah, a Persian woman.
Oh wow, Persian, interesting.
Or Iranian. I don't know what they call it these days.
Who knows, right? But you called it
Beautiful woman.
I'm sure.
Gorgeous furniture.
Right.
You would want to see her. It took days to move in all her furniture. Beautiful
Furniture.
Stuff. She must have been very wealthy.
Oh well, that's good to know. But
They took it all out again, of course.
They did.
Well, yeah, she didn't need it. Dead.
She's dead, indeed. Any other murders, deaths, suicides before that?
Yeah. Tons.
Kidding me.
I mean, I can't remember them all. My brain's not what it used to be, but yeah. I guess you could. Someone at the newspaper would be able to help you.
Really?
Yeah, maybe. Or, yeah, there's got to be records or something. But yeah, there's been a lot of deaths there. Murders, suicides, just people going fucking crazy.
Jeez Louise. And always...
It's a cursed house, I'd say.
It's a cursed house. Any strange noises happening? Is it always the owner of the house?
No, there was, let me see now. There was, the last woman, she was the owner and she killed herself, the poor woman. But
indeed.
for that, name, lawyer he was.
Lawyer?
Tycroft. Louis Tycroft, that was his name. Shot himself.
Shot himself?
Yep.
So it's not always the same death, per se.
What do you mean, same death?
We heard the last one cut his own neck. Pretty morbid, huh?
That did not make it into the papers.
Oh.
I don't think so.
Well.
I'll dine out on that information.
But you heard the shot.
For Tycroft?
Yeah.
No, that was nearly 20 years ago. I think I was probably at work that day. I remember coming home though and seeing the cop car outside. And
You don't say.
yeah, lived there on his own. I think he'd been divorced from his wife. Local people,
Yeah.
yeah. But
Good people.
I don't know. A lawyer or any lawyers with snakes in the grass. I don't know.
Yeah.
I know. I had a lawyer around here talking about my fucking door again.
Oh my God.
They sent it. The damn homeowners association sent a lawyer's letter to me.
Wow.
Ball washing bastards.
Care more about the lawns and actually making things happen.
Yeah. But there's been a string of people in and out. So many owners. I can't keep. It's never been empty, that house.
Never been emptied.
No,
You're still able to
people-
sell it? Or?
It goes on sale for a month or two and it gets snapped up. I can't tell you why. It looks ugly as sin, if you ask me.
Agreed.
The old Wheeler house, they used to call it. Wheeler house.
Wheeler house.
Yeah, I believe that's before my time. Some guy by the name of Wheeler built it
Wow.
for his wife.
Whoa. And what happened to his wife?
Oh, I don't know.
That sounds like something the local library might tell me.
I don't know anything about that.
This is actually...
What's your human?
20.
Is it just a kindly old man?
It's just a kindly... Who? Wheeler? Or
No,
this
this
guy?
guy.
This
No.
guy. Let me ask you something. Is it always just a single death?
One at a time. I mean, yeah, I don't remember.
There's never been a family that lived in there.
Oh, there's been families, yeah. Yeah, but yeah, usually just the one death. There was... it was so sad.
Oh.
I think they were Canadian family. This was years ago. Years ago, maybe before the war in Vietnam. Back that far. In the 60s, early 60s maybe. Foray was the name of the family. That was real sad. Their little boy died.
Oh.
Yeah, and the mother, she just went crazy. She just went plumb crazy. Father took her and they headed back to Montreal.
Oh, yeah. The loss of a child is always tough. Tough on a family. Well, anybody else you think I should talk to on this road?
Mrs. Klasky probably knows more than me. She's been here for 80 years, I think. She's old and crazy as shit, though.
What's the color of her door?
She is, oh, it's fucking
Green.
whatever color there's supposed to be. Green. She's just across the road.
She's across the
no,
road.
she's next to me right here. To the
Okay.
left. He points to the left.
Sir, I want to thank you very much. You've definitely given me something to bring back to the gray man I work for.
Well, glad to be of service.
And thank you for the coffee. It's mighty strong stuff you've given me.
You're welcome. You can take that with you if you want.
The mug too?
Yeah, I stole it. It doesn't matter.
Cheers, thank you.
Let yourself out. I'm too fucking old to get up.
You got it, sir.
Shall we go to... You were going to the police department?
Yes.
And you were going to
Emmy,
the coroner.
What does ME stand for?
medical examiner.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
Let's go to the cops
Stands
first.
for me.
Me?
Me.
Bring,
The Meadowbrook Police Department is in a 2-story building downtown. You park in the car park. There's probably, let's see, it's around about 1 p.m. Maybe 3 patrol cars are parked here. One was leaving just as you drove in. But you don't get the impression that there's many more. It's not a big car park. Like, you don't get the impression that the police department is all that big. The receptionist greets you and she calls the police chief on the intercom, and he comes out to the reception area, sees your badge, and invites you into his office. He's 42. He's wearing a very clean, well-pressed police uniform. He's got a .357 Magnum on his hip, and he offers you a coffee and sits down, and he asks you, "Well, what can I do for you, Agent?"
Well, first of all, yeah, I'll take it black. Thank you very much. As strong as it comes.
The only way we got it.
Perfect. So, Captain Buffington, is it? Pleasure to make your acquaintance. Agent Bosheers from agency up in, I didn't decide. Give me a town. New York. I've come to town following a lead I found has led me to look at this case here on 1206 Spooner Avenue. Federal agent went missing, declared a
the
suicide.
Donnelly case. Yeah,
the one.
weird one, that.
I'm just wondering if you could share with me what you uncovered, any information you uncovered in your investigation, any loose ends, anything.
Sure, I'll tell you what I know, but I don't know a whole lot, to be honest with you. It was kind of a strange one.
Were you in charge of the investigation?
I was, yeah. Donnelly, he was working out at the Trenton FBI field office. He also lived relatively locally. I think his home was just a couple of miles outside of Meadowbrook. He disappeared. He was reported missing by his wife to the FBI field office. A couple of agents investigated. They did not find him anywhere, but when they looked into his movements by tracking his cell phone, they found that he had spent a lot of time at 1206 Spooner Avenue. Kind of a half infamous house in these parts. I've heard a lot of kids tell ghost stories about it. Halloween, it's a pretty active place. Kids trying to break in and shit and do their Ouija boards and whatever the fuck they're doing. A load of bullshit. Donnelly apparently committed suicide. Our county coroner, what's his fucking name again? Elmer Perkin, very good man. He ruled it a suicide. He said it looked like it had been done with a straight razor. We could not locate the weapon, but I figured maybe some of the ghost hunting kids had broken in and stolen it. There were no signs of break-in, though. Maybe Donnelly left the door open. Who knows? Yeah, it was a strange one.
Now I heard that the local news agency, the Sparrow, now they had a few columns on this story when it came out. I'm wondering what kind of information made it to paper and where they got their information from.
It was a lot of conjecture, to be honest with you. My department is pretty close-lipped, pretty tight-lipped. We played this close to our chests. In deference to your own agency, we understood that such an unfortunate event, potentially connected to the breakdown of one of your agents, wouldn't look too good in the papers. So yeah, we kept it out of the papers as much as possible. But of course, journalists, they catch things and they picked up on it. Yeah, they went with this story, another Spooner suicide, in reference to the well, I don't know the details on this myself, but apparently there's been a string of suicides connected to that house. I can't say that the suicides are connected beyond. I assume you're aware of the similarity between Donnelly's suicide and the previous owner's suicide.
Yeah, I heard about it.
Yeah, my theory is he became obsessed with this woman. Perhaps had been stalking him. We believe he was estranged from his wife. Perhaps there was an affair going on. We haven't found any hard evidence on that, but it's always got something to do with sex. He became obsessed with this woman. After she had killed herself, he did a copycat act. Kind of weird, but not impossible to believe.
Well, the copycats are normally the killers themselves. It's a bit unusual for you to...
I'm not a profiler, but it was all we could put together.
Well, okay, Mr. Buffington. Guess if you got nothing else to share.
Yeah, I'd really like to help you more. But Donnelly was like a ghost. He did not leave traces of anything. It was real weird. Usually you'd find a man's office and like his notes and a journal or something to give you some insight into what he was thinking. But this guy, no, it was like there was an Agent Donnelly who was just like a facade he was presenting to the world. And whoever he was beyond that, shrouded in mystery. You want more information on the particulars of the death? You can go talk to the coroner. I can give him a call and ask him to share some details with you. You want more information on the house? I'd recommend going down to the county seat. The local newspaper might have some information. They started digitizing their stories recently. I don't know that they've gotten back very far though, so you might have to just root through fucking filing cabinets. I don't envy you that. Yeah, anything. I mean, here's my card. If I can help in any way, give me a call.
Much obliged. And just one last thing. Did you or any of your boys check out the residence of Mr. Donnelly?
We did not. No, the FBI looked into that.
Right.
But they did not report finding anything apart from his phone.
Okay, good to know.
Which he had left behind for some reason. Kind of weird. Especially looking at his phone records, it looked like he always had it on him. And why one day would he just leave it behind and that be the day that he killed himself?
His phone as well? Is that in the jurisdiction of the FBI?
I believe that was taken in as evidence, yeah.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Buffington, for your time.
No problem. Sorry I couldn't be of more help, but like I said, if anything comes up, I'll do my best to help out the agency anytime.
You've helped enough already. And this coffee? Fantastic.
I'm glad you like. I picked that out myself. The cheap shit they tried to fucking pawn off of me. I've only been working here a year, but I made some changes. First change I made, fucking Nespresso.
Nespresso.
Yeah, I mean, people will tell you that there's a lot of wastage in those capsules, but it's worth it. It's worth it.
Wow, this is America. We don't recycle.
Exactly. God bless it.
What's the name of the Nespresso guy again? The one that's in all the adverts.
Is it George Clooney? Isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's Clooney. Clooney.
Like Clooney.
Yeah, like Clooney. Lloyd Clooney in it. Yeah. I can't
Was
do
that
accents.
your Clooney
Yeah, no, I can't.
Did you say in it?
Like, yeah, I don't know what in it. It's like Clooney in it. Hey. I can't do accents.
Mr. Clooney. You want to talk to the coroner now?
I do.
The county coroner's office is downtown Meadowbrook. There's only Elmer Perkin here himself. You come into the reception, it's empty. Maybe you hit a bell or you call out, and a couple of minutes later you hear someone say, "Just a minute," and a man in his mid-50s comes out to you. He's wearing slacks, dark slacks. He's got a shirt on. The top button is open. His sleeves are rolled up. As he walks out, he's just taking off a pair of rubber gloves, which are soaked in blood. And he says, was that door open? Fuck, I told him to lock the fucking door. Well, how can I help you?
Perkins?
Elmer Perkin, that's who you're talking to. Yep.
Perkin.
Yep.
Yes.
Keep up.
Agent Goodwill gives him a steely glare.
Agent?
Yes, Agent Goodwill.
Oh, and which agency would you be with, Agent?
I took out my my ID and show him
the Federal BI, eh?
FBI.
Okay.
Federal BI.
Yeah, okay. Why don't you come out to my office?
Yes.
Tea?
Wonderful, thank you.
I don't have any, but I got some coffee if you like it.
Got him.
Yes, coffee, I suppose.
Now, Agent
Goodwill.
Goodwill, how can I help you?
I'm here as part of a task force to look into the death of Agent Donnelly. He died at the Spooner Avenue house. I believe.
Yeah, the FBI guy, yeah.
Yes.
Weird.
Yes, that's what we were thinking too. I'd like to ask you some questions around this, about your findings into his cause of death.
Well, is this an official investigation?
Yes, it is.
Do you have any documentation, a warrant to show me that?
Well, I'm not here to inspect your office.
No, but in order to share this information, I think as an FBI agent, you probably know that I can't just give out that information without proper authorization. I mean, what exactly are you investigating?
Well, his death was ruled suicide, and yet.
What's your UMINT?
60.
Okay, he seems quite defensive now.
I got that impression, yeah. His death was ruled a suicide, and
That's
yet,
right, yeah.
And yet, no suicide, no weapon or implement that could have been the tool used for his suicide could not be found.
Another question: what's your charisma?
60.
And your agent's age?
35.
Okay. That is right. Yes, we could not find, or rather, the police could not find or misplaced. My personal theory, the suicide weapon. Yeah, that's correct.
And so, can you tell me what about the cause of death led you to believe it was a suicide?
Oh well, it's quite clear from the angle. he was right-handed, and this was clearly a wound made with the right hand. One swift cut across the neck. Everything about it suggested suicide. The only thing that didn't was the absence of a weapon, to be honest with you.
Well, I also heard that the description of the crime scene was like a bomb of blood had been set off.
Yeah, he was a squirter, all right. Yeah, he bled the fuck out, really. Yeah, the walls are covered. Mirror had splash marks, unusual splash marks on it. Yeah, it was, you know what? For all the world, it looked like there was a shape on the mirror in the blood splatter. Really weird. We confirmed that there was no one else in the house. The doors were locked from the inside. Windows were all closed. There couldn't have been anyone else there. But it looked like something blocked some of the blood splattering on the mirror. But maybe he turned. I don't know. I couldn't figure it out.
I would suppose then that the police maybe have the crime scene photos documenting this?
Oh yes, they would most certainly have those photos.
I see. Was there anything that you saw from your investigation that potentially implied anything strange or suspicious?
Well, it seems suspicious that an FBI agent would just up and kill himself.
Yes.
But given the house that it happened in, not particularly strange. Certainly suspicious, I suppose.
Have you, in your tenure, have you worked on many other bodies from this house?
Quite a few, young lady, quite a few.
I'd like you to tell me about them.
Well, it's not really proper to, it's such there are some stories I guess I could tell you. It always, how do you feel about day drinking? Because I could do with a drink. There's a bar just down the street. Come, I'll tell you what. Buy me a drink and we'll have a chat.
Can I do some kind of check to read him?
Sure. Hang on, what's your UMint again?
60.
You don't need it to check.
Okay.
He looks nervous and like maybe he needs a drink to kind of loosen his lips. He's willing to talk with you, but it seems like something he doesn't really want to talk about, and he needs like the Dutch courage to do it.
Okay, so not some creepy thing of like, hey,
No.
Missy, why don't you buy me a drink?
No, you don't get it. He's not being a creep.
Okay.
I just realized last time you described your character as
Oh
being
yeah, we
quite
didn't do that on
good-looking,
mic. That was
but
in the last
covered
session.
in cat hair, and I'm wondering if that's still the case.
That is true. We didn't get it on mic today, but when I described her last time, I described her as an even hotter Agent Scully, but unfortunately covered in a thick film of cat hair.
Sexy.
She raises an eyebrow at him and says, I see. I spend a lot of my time around older professors. I am not averse to some day drinking.
Glad to hear it. Let's go.
Thanks for listening, folks. If you enjoyed this, please leave us a review on your podcatcher of choice. It'll help spread the word and help others to find us too. If you have any comments, questions, or just want to get in touch with us, you can. You can find us on Twitter with @TalesOfPodcast. We'd love to hear from you. This episode's Tales of crew is Fabio as the Game Master, Mike as Lukas Bosheers, Charles as Eric Paras, myself as Selina Goodwill, as well as our audio producer. You can reach me on Twitter with @ThatLastJan. All music and sound effects used with permission and may have been modified for use. Details and links can be found in the show notes. See you next episode.
That was your
No,
name.
Of the
That was your
Independent.
name, not your code name.
Your agent name,
I think it was. Oh shit! I wrote it down actually. I should have it here. I think it was Kip. Agent Kip. There we go.
So you kept your real name as your agent name.
No, it's Trent Cripp. And it was,
No way. No one's ever figuring that out.
it's what it's C. It's what it's C.
The most most important thing about Delta Green is secrecy,
See, yeah.
operational integrity. Sorry, go on.
The story, we were approached by an Agent Kelly, asked to go and inspect the apartment of a recently deceased, was it agent or contractor?
It was a former agent.
Former agent, to look for any potential connections to Delta Green that may have been kept at their apartment. So we went, we rifled through their not particularly nice apartment, and found the deeds to a cabin. We went
Almost fell afoul of an old lady.
almost fell afoul of an old lady. We didn't investigate the other neighbor. That could have also have been fun. We went out to their cabin, wherein we found, what do they call them? The green boxes?
Green boxes.
So we found a green box full of interesting, most likely related to Delta Green items, but simultaneously, was it you, Mike?
Agent Claxon, yeah.
Agent Claxon found, what are they called?
The septic tank.
The septic tank.
Yes.
A septic tank with a naked woman inside, begging and pleading for help. At the same time that we found a letter that said, "There's a bunch of gas in the shed. Please, if you find this, burn it out."
Pour it down the septic tank. Don't look.
Yeah,
just
burn it out.
At which point Claxon walks in.
At this point, Claxon walks into the cabin with the lady who had been trapped down there. I don't think we ever found out exactly the terminology for it. Was it like a kind of skinwalker?
You weren't told any terminology, no.
Okay. Well, from what I know about my very basic knowledge of American folklore, it seemed to be some kind of skinwalker who was wearing the body of this man's wife, who, from the dates I could tell, should have been very, very dead, and younger. And older than as she was. We then tried to engage, got our asses handed to us. Claxon chased her into the woods. We weren't sure what we were doing. We spent a lot of time repairing the van and figuring out what to do, but we eventually followed him through the woods with a bunch of gasoline to find him talking to a completely different person who appeared to have been camping there, having an hour-long conversation on comms to keep them talking, whereupon we had a very unsuccessful attempt to douse them with gasoline, set them on fire, but when we finally got them down, this spirit somehow transferred to Agent Kip. To Agent Kip. So then we had to kill Agent Kip, and then because we tried to drag everything back to the vehicle. At which point we decided to burn everything and bury everything. And did Agent Claxon make it back? Oh, you succeeded your role.
Agent Claxon blasted Kip's head off, and then managed to shrug off the entity.
Yeah,
and then we burned everything and went home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was quite the catastrophe. It was excellent.
It was quite
I
a
very
catastrophe.
much enjoyed it. For anyone listening, we just spoiled Last Things Last for you.
I'll put in a disclaimer.
Yeah.
I'll edit in a disclaimer before that.
Or just cut off the ending. And then they blasted Agent Kip.
Yeah. So anyway, I starts blasting.
Yeah.